So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our CSCA event, SC for SC, so Self-Care for School Counselors. It was a fun time to come up with that name. I'm Curtis Darragh IV. I'm the middle school level liaison for the CSCA. And with me today, I have Eileen Melody, who is our past president of CSCA. So hi, Eileen. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Eileen and Robin are going to introduce some social emotional learning, and Robin Fox is a social cognitive educator. She's also a Connecticut certified regular and special education teacher and a social emotional learning specialist. So together with our program Social Eyes Together is a signature program of Social Eyes, and it's a dynamic, interactive, and it is designed to serve students with social challenges, including those with autism, ADHD, and social communication disorders. It delivers a therapeutic social emotional learning curriculum for small groups and classrooms with fun, playful improv exercises and mindfulness minutes and cognitive awareness focus tools. So on behalf of CSCA, Robin and Eileen, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, well, we are really, we're really glad to be here. And, you know, I have a great connection with you all as once being the chairman, and I'm glad to be here today. But I've had a wonderful experience over the past 7 months, 8 months or so, I guess. How many people make a new friend during these days, during their COVID days of quarantining? Well, I was really fortunate to make a very special friendship and relationship with Robin Fox. And I think you'll see why I find her and value her friendship so much. She is a person who truly believes quite passionately in social emotional learning and self-care. So Robin will lead us predominantly today, and I will assist at times. Robin, is there anything you wanted to say before we launch our poll?
No, just back at you, Eileen. I've really benefited greatly from our collaboration and our friendship, and it is a treasure to me.
I call it the gift of COVID. Strange. So we are going to start with, oops, and my polling is not allowing me to poll right now because I'm in my alternate setting. So we do have a plan B, as always. We all know counselors have plan B. So if you would in the chat, what's your state of mind today? Are you psyched? Let's go. Are you reasonably good? I think. Okay. A little nervous about things. Please distract me. Are you drained? Barely here? Or what do you mean? What state of mind? I'm numb right now. You wouldn't mind in the chat sharing where you are. How are you today? Nice. Yep.
Thank you for sharing, everyone. It's, you know, it's hard to really be present when so much is going on, both mentally, there's so many things to deal with, and then emotionally, that constant pull at us. And that's why we're here today. We're here for some self-care, to share some self-care with you, to talk a little bit about it. And the truth is that if practiced, really practiced, self-care brings us to equilibrium, clarity, and relief. And not to numbness, but really to that place where we are receiving comfort. Because comfort is key. Comfort is what we're all seeking. From when we were little children, we were seeking that comfort. We were seeking that place of connection with life. And you know, self-care is a journey. It is a practice. It's a lifestyle. It's a choice, and it's really. I feel really fortunate because my work, after 37 years of public school teaching as a special education teacher, for the past 7 years, I've been developing and using this program. One of the key ingredients of this program is play, improv. improv exercises, and improv exercises deliver therapeutic levels of wonderful, wonderful skills through experience. And I'm going to share my screen right now. I need to be, I guess I can. Let's see. Yes, I can. Okay. So let's see. Oh boy. You can see my screen. And of course, there's a million other things here. Despite my best efforts to have this be perfect. So when we learn about something, and little Lily is obviously studying something pretty intense, and you know, when she's older, she can learn about this, and it will become part of what she knows. She'll be able to talk about it. She'll be able to stand up like her daddy does and deliver lectures. But when we experience something, it becomes part of who we are. And here Cora is voting and then having the full orchard experience in the little wagon. And the truth is that when we play, we get so much out of it. And the opposite of play is not work. The opposite of play, oops, that's not working. The opposite of play is depression. We need that playfulness inside of us. We need to share it. We need to be in that spirit of joyfulness. And play does so many things. For children, it actually puts them in a place where they are fully in the experience. They're pretending, but it doesn't feel like pretend. It feels like for real. We step into that make-believe world, and it fully includes our body and our mind. We surrender to the fantasy that we're creating with others, and we're unaware of time passing until we're called to dinner or have to go home in an instant. The spell is broken. So all of these wonderful strengths are developed during play: creativity, imagination. We get to conquer our fears. We build resilience by experiencing loss and grief and all the things that you can do when you're playing with others, being left out and figuring that out, becoming confident. And so one of the ways that we can practice self-care is to allow ourselves to become more playful. So we're going to take you on a little journey right now. And if you could get out a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper, we're going to take you down memory lane just for a few short minutes. And we're going to ask you a few questions that we'd love you to answer. So think back to when you were a child. What is your play history? What made you excited about playing? Think about the games, the activities, the solo things you did, the activities you did with others. It might have been sports, it might have been art, it might have been dance, but what was it? Did you make up dances? Did you pretend to be a teacher? Take about 2 minutes and make a list, because we're going to use this in an activity in breakout rooms. So those of you who have your video off, you might want to turn your video on, because eventually, in just a few minutes, we're going to be joining others in breakout rooms and sharing. But right now, go ahead and write down the things that you did when you were little that made your heart light up. So I know Jill just joined us, and what we're doing is we're thinking back to our childhood and just writing what we loved to do when we were children, when we played alone or with others. I know for me, I was surprised that I remembered some things like, oh my God, I used to love doing that. That was so much fun. And making a list like that really brought it back to me. And I'm not surprised I became a teacher, because playing teacher was one of my big activities.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen again, because I want to just bring your attention to something that you might not have thought about, or maybe you have, but there are 6 types of play. One type of play is movement, dance, you know, anything that you're doing where you're moving. Sports is a movement play. So you're using your body, you're fully in it. Another type of play is narrative or storytelling, where you are making up a story, you might be acting out a story. These overlap, by the way. There hardly ever is one activity that just fits one. Another one is creative art, making up songs, dancing, acting, anything that you can do where you just create something alone or with others. Another is object play. Object play, that's where most of our mechanical engineers love object plays. I know my partner takes apart things, and he walks into a building. I look at the people. He looks at how the building is made. He's an object guy. And so it's manipulating things. And then social, which is the games or the exercises or the play that foster connection between people. And then imaginative play, pretend. That was my favorite, pretending to be in different situations. So just, if you want to write down those 6 types of play, that would be wonderful. I'll give you a second for that. And what we'd like to do right now is we're going to send you into breakout rooms of 3. And Eileen's going to set that up. Thank you, Eileen. And what you're going to do is share your favorite. Which one was your favorite? So you might want to star that right now. And it might be 2 things that you absolutely love. And when you see that written on paper, it brings you back to that place, to those feelings. And what I want you to do is, when you go to the breakout room, describe why you loved it. Figure out what type of play it was, and talk about how that enters into your life right now. Is that a part of your life in some way? Did it follow you into your career? Is it something you do when you're not working? Is there something related to it that you still do that we might not call play, but it might be tennis, or it might be theater, or it might be another activity? So if we're all ready, we're going to send you into breakout rooms for about 5 minutes, and you're going to share those things. Eileen, can you send those, what we want them to into the breakout rooms? Okay, so we'll see you in about 5.
Robin, can you read it to me? Share your favorite play activity as a
Share your
child.
favorite play activity as a child.
Okay.
Describe why you loved it.
Yep.
Figure out what type of play it was from the 6 types of play. Somebody might want to say, what type of play is it? What type of play is it? Maybe that would be easier. And then how does it figure in your life now?
Oh, that's it.
Did I share that with you yesterday?
You did.
Okay, I didn't write it down, which is why I'm asking.
We didn't move that question to the end about how you figured,
Oh,
right?
oh, I asked them already. Shoot.
That's okay. Should I keep it going? Should I put it out there again?
Yeah.
Up to you.
Yes, yes, just go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the question we ask at the end is, how can you bring more play into your life?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So we sent them in, I think at 2:18, I'm not sure. So
Yep.
I was thinking instead of 8 minutes, we'll give them 5. Is that enough?
Yes. Okay.
Every time I get on Zoom, my hair is grayer. Oh,
I hear you.
it's recording. Oh my goodness gracious.
Don't worry, I'm going to delete the recording.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. I had that in my mind.
Okay.
And I'm
People are so stressed. Everybody's stressed.
Yes, they are.
So the havening is going to be really good. I'm wondering if we should do the havening first and then
I
revel.
know.
Just to get people
Yeah.
calm down. So we'll just bounce back and forth. I think that might be a good idea.
Can you help me with that today? I'm not all here.
Yes, I can absolutely help you with it.
Thank you.
So is it, do they do both arms at the same time?
Yes. Can you see me, Robin? Right, like this.
Yes.
It's stroking down like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
About 10 strokes.
Okay.
I kind of know it all, but I just feel like, and then the other.
Use it to them and say, go ahead and look it up, for more.
Actually, I think it'd be fun.
Oh, the butterfly. I forgot about that. I just did this, and this.
Right.
Oh, I like the butterfly. Yeah.
I can add the butterfly. It's very relaxing.
So
and
right now you're looking away from the screen. Do you know that?
I know it's this camera. Apparently they deactivated this camera here. Usually I can access both. I'll try again. Oh, maybe I can. Wait. Oh, there it is.
Look at you. Oh, that's so much better. You look so much more present.
Sorry about this. I had all this time and then all of a sudden this student says to me, "Can I see you, Mrs. Melody?" And then a teacher said, "Can you stop by and see me?" I'm like,
I know, sweetie. And you know what? You're doing this. And every time you can join me, I'm so happy. And if you, like I said before, I'm fully here. I feel really present. So I'm happy. I don't have the constraints and the drains on me that you have. So
today it seems like there's more than normal constraints.
yeah, for sure. So this will help a lot.
There's a good chance for them just to talk to each other. I know as a counselor, this group has become like everyone who's here, like they've been coming to stuff all spring, and this is great. So they're going to check in with each other. Really, some cool people showed up. I'm really excited.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so where's evening? Okay.
We'll give them maybe another minute.
Yeah, so it's 18, 19, 20, 20. Yeah, want to give them a 1 minute notice?
Yes, I am saying another minute.
When you close the breakout rooms, though, does it give them another minute on top of that?
Yes, but they'll come back, I think, fast. Usually people feel that pressure of clicking.
Yeah.
But it's nice for them just to decompress. But boy, whew, what was written in this chat? Worried about how to handle, drained, stressed.
Oh, Curtis said high energy and excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm the other one who said I'm happy to be here or something. So
I'm going to close it, the breakout rooms, okay?
And we're going to ask for, yep. And we're going to ask for shares, right?
Yep. They're a group that like to share. That's the other thing I found. They like to talk a little bit, participate.
Good.
Yeah. Curtis.
I had an awesome group that talked about imagination.
I bet. Nice. We're going to just wait for some more people to come back.
I bet that felt good to everybody just to say hi to someone else, right? I was saying that to Robin, how it's nice for you just have a few minutes to communicate with someone that's not in your building. Just to catch up because you're all friends now in this Zoom world that we've created. So I see a lot of people that I know. Nice, very nice to see you all. So that was one of our goals, and the breakout room is just a nice place to hang and chat with people who can relate to what you're experiencing. So, nice.
Would anybody like to share something from their group with the other people? It always really, first of all, we always have to acknowledge that sharing in front of our peers takes an act of courage, and same for our students, and that there's nothing that you can say that is wrong, and we honor and respect and would love for some shares.
Kind of curious, what was people's favorite play as a child?
Oh yeah.
I'll share.
Thanks, Samantha.
No problem. So, yeah, no, we were just talking about how there's so many connections between what we liked to do when we were little and, you know, even like our career paths now, but then also just what our interests, our passions are now. So all three of us really liked to play school when we were little. So that's just kind of funny. But then like also just what your passions are, like Sarah, if you don't mind me sharing, you like to talk about like you made concoctions with your cousins, and like now you love to like make different concoctions when you cook, you know, when you were little. And just like even things like when I was little, I liked to go stone hopping with my neighbors in our backyard. We had a little creek, and like now I love to be outside and like go hiking and stuff like that. Yeah. We also talked about how like we liked to dance or make up dances, some of us when we were little. And now, even though we don't really get to dance as much anymore, but we still do yoga, which is kind of, you know, related in a way. So between sort of your career path, but also just kind of passions that you've carried on from your childhood to adulthood.
Right. So, you know, I was thinking about the fact that these are kind of our playing styles. We have learning styles and playing styles. So when we interact with our students, object play for the, I mean, if you find out from them what are their favorite things to do, you can tailor some of your sessions to that modality for them, and it becomes so much more alive for them. So I wrote a curriculum using exercises, you know, improv exercises and mindfulness exercises and cognitive awareness, CBT kind of exercises. And and after it was published, I started really getting into classifying the different types of play and how important it is for us to reach students through the different movement and imagination and creative play. And but luckily, the breadth of improv covers all of those. So it's really wonderful. And anybody else want to share? Since we're on play, let's just do a really quick, fun movement play that will get you all involved. Yeah, it just seems right to do that next. This exercise is called Rebel Rebel, and this is a movement exercise, as I said, but it also brings people awareness of their being present in the moment, personal space, flexibility, and their resilience too. It's hard to participate fully unless you have this trust that it will be okay.
Yeah, and this is something that I've used actually with my groups at school, and also online with groups of students. So it's a way to get the energy flowing and people working together as a group. So it's kind of fun.
And then we're going to show you how you can incorporate different types of play into one exercise. So this is called Rebel Rebel, and we're going to practice some simple moves and actions. And after we get good at them, you're going to do the opposite of what is called out. So we'll start with just something simple. So when I say sway, you sway. When I say stop, you stop. So sway, stop. Sway, stop.
Yeah, this is fun.
Now, when I say stop, you sway. When I say sway, you stop. Here we go. Stop, sway, stop, sway. Not too hard, right? We're going to add another one. When I say, so just do what I do, because when we're first learning it, we actually do what I say, and then we start to rebel and do the opposite. But this is touch your nose, pat your head. Touch your nose, pat your head. Touch your nose, pat your head. Now do the opposite, and we're going to include the sway and stop. So if I say stop, you sway. If I say stop, sway, you stop. If I say touch your nose, you pat your head. If I say pat your head, you touch your nose. Here we go. Okay, sway, touch your nose. Stop, pat your head. Stop, touch your nose. Okay, excellent. Now, so that was a movement exercise. And now we can make it a creative exercise, because you can throw it to students and say, okay, you think of some movements to do, and we'll copy 2 movements, doesn't matter what they are, and we'll copy them, and then we'll do the opposite. So does anybody want to come up with 2 movements that we can do?
Got an idea, Curtis?
I know, like creative little mind is just like, I don't know.
You know what? It's a long day. I'm gonna.
Like, I like that.
Okay, yeah, that's one. But shrug.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
So what is the first one? Is shrug.
Yeah.
And the second one is jazz hands. Okay, so shrug, jazz hands. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite of everything we say. Here we go. When I say stop, you sway. When I say sway, you stop. When I say touch your nose, you pat your head. When I say pat your head, you touch your nose. When I say shrug, you jazz hands. When I say jazz hands, you shrug. Whew. Okay, here we go. Jazz hands. Shrug. Sway. Stop. Touch your nose. Pat your head. Jazz hands. Shrug. All right, really nice, everybody. Excellent. So what kinds of skills does a simple thing like that address, would you say? What kinds of things are we doing when we do these movements, when we are following a leader?
So Robin, the thing I noticed the most is just, I was smiling because I thought at any moment I'm going to make a mistake and it's going to be making me feel funny, right? Laugh.
Right,
So there's just some humor, and then just watching everyone together trying to do this. And I know everyone's trying to do it, like really get it right. So it was just actually just the humor and the simplicity of it all makes it fun, just plain old fun. So
right, yes,
I like
and it brings our bodies into this very simple, but the kids have to be flexible to do this. They have to be present. They have to really think. They have to get their brains involved. So it involves their brains and their bodies, but it's not really taxing. And we also teach everyone that when you make a mistake, it's really fun to go, ta-da! And celebrate that mistake. And we do that by actually, we'll tell everybody, you know, when anybody makes this mistake, we all can go, ta-da! And celebrate it. And then what we'll do is I'll do the opposite of the opposite just to trick everybody. So everybody's used to following the leader, but then the leader is actually doing the thing while you're doing the opposite. So there's a lot of ta-das. And so it becomes a fun way of learning how to make mistakes. and knowing that, again, building resilience. So yes, let's see. Well, one of the things that we really wanted to talk to you all about is the fact that these are really disappointing times and difficult times. And I don't have to tell you that, but you know, one of the things we wanted to do with you is talk about the ways that we can lean into disappointment. And I know it's so counterintuitive to lean into disappointment, but each of us can find our way. And it takes a lot of courage to feel the feelings that we have, to allow ourselves into that pain, because there's a fear that it will overwhelm us, that we won't be able to handle it. And the truth is that allowing ourselves to feel our pain, whether it brings tears or whatever it brings, is actually the path to being human and to being connected to each other. And leaning into disappointment is saying, I'm here. Letting ourselves feel what we feel is allowing the truth of what is. And that is hard, but it is really a spiritual warrior to lean into that, to feel it. And we become actually a lot more alive by feeling what we feel. And it becomes less threatening because our emotions are in motion. The word is even in, the word motion is even in the word emotion. And if we stop it, we block it. And if we feel it, we heal it. So we want to figure out ways to really let ourselves and let our students feel what we feel. And, also our emotions have messages for us. You might not think that, and you might not want to listen, but and I know that if we don't listen to our emotions, they get louder and louder and do subversive stuff that we have to pay attention to eventually. And so do our students. That's when the outbreaks come. That's when they lose it. And because they're not acknowledging that feeling, they're not paying attention to it, because it's scary. It's really scary to feel big emotions. And yet the message is there. And the message might be to change your behavior. I don't want to do that again. That didn't feel good. But if you're just blocking it, then all you're doing is repressing and taking all your precious energy to not listen to a message that will get louder and louder and louder if we don't listen. So there's a lot of things that we could talk to you about today. One is flip the mood, which I think we did last time on the call, but it is a technique to deal with difficult emotions and to help kids deal with it by feeling it and naming it and finding it in your body. Again, we leave our bodies out, and our emotions reside as feelings in our bodies, right? We feel, and that feeling, allowing ourselves to feel, mark brackets, permission to feel. Who gives that permission? It's nobody else, it's you. You give yourself permission to feel. And we can teach our students to give themselves permission to feel and hold the space for them. And, but one thing that we can do that's really lovely, and it's becoming more and more popular, is something called havening. I don't know has anybody heard of havening? Just a hand up if you've heard of havening. It's the science now is behind it, and it is a psychological sensory therapy. Very simple, can do it anywhere, and it regulates the nervous system. It uses touch to alter brain chemistry. It increases serotonin. It reduces that flight, fight, or freeze part of us, that reactive part of us. And basically it feels really good and calms us down. I taught it to second graders yesterday. Oh my God, I could not believe how, first of all, adorable they were doing it. And then when we got off the call, when the session ended, the speech pathologist and school counselor who were on the call said, oh my God, that was my favorite thing ever. I just want to keep doing it. So we're going to teach it to you right now. And
so this is something, Robin, just to mention that although it's really appealing to use these havening techniques with children, quite honestly, I use them myself. As I learned, they're So we'll show you 4 different techniques, but and they're very just, you can be really quite discreet about how you are using these techniques, but I use them throughout the day to help me get into a better place so that I can actually use my rational mind and come out of that high emotional place that sometimes I find myself in. So here, let's start. It's kind of good. You want to start, Robin, with the first one?
Sure. And I just want to again emphasize that we need to bring our bodies into our emotional, social life. We need to, doing mindfulness, following our breath. Our breath is our connection between our bodies and our spirit, our bodies and that wisdom that is within us, but it's our breath that connects us. And this is a way, Eastern medicine has known for years that there's meridians of energy, travels through our chakras and meridians that Eastern medicine uses. And now Western medicine is imaging and seeing, they're right. So this is it's now a Western way of kind of socially acceptable Eastern wonderful ways of healing. So the first thing we're going to do is take your hand and put it on your shoulder, and your other hand and put it on your other shoulder. It's kind of like a hug, which is awesome to begin with. But we're going to just gently and slowly, as we breathe, barely be conscious of your breath, we're just going to stroke down to our elbow. As we breathe, stroke down to your elbow 10 times. So that's 2, 3. I like to close my eyes. 4. Keep breathing. 5, 6. Feel yourself get calm. Allow it to happen. 7. Slow it down. 8. Feel your breath. 9. Let yourself feel this deeply. 10. You can let go. Tune in to how you're feeling right now. Keep breathing. If you've closed your eyes, you can open your eyes. The next one is very simple. You just take your palms, put them together, namaste or prayer position, and you just take one hand and you slowly stroke your palm, and then the other hand and slowly stroke your palm. Feel the sensation of your gentle tips of your fingers, the fleshy part of your fingers, as it actually touches your palm on the way down. It's very sensual. It feels really good. And you could do this, without anybody knowing. Just easy to do. Remember to keep breathing as you're self-soothing here. So just a number of times, as long as you want, really, as long as it feels good. Eileen, you want to show them the butterfly kisses?
Sure. So once again, take your hands, one hand to the opposite shoulder and then the other. Then just slide your hands down just a little bit. Okay. And cute little name, butterfly tap. So you can imagine what we're going to do. Let it, one hand, then the other, just tapping right at that place below the shoulder and above the pecs, the pectorals, right? So you just, and take it slowly and take inhale and exhale. So there are all kinds of things going on here. Feeling a little pressure, you're creating rhythm, matching up your breathing with the taps. That's the way you want to do this, but there are different ways to bring yourself to a place of a little bit more place of being calm. And you can see how you could teach this to a student, certainly, but you can also do this yourself. And it's a little just, it's not outrageous. It's not a practice that's outrageous. So you can do that right in your office without it being feeling uncomfortable.
Most of these are private things because you want to get into it. You want to really feel the energy moving and the comfort that it brings. The last one is, I took my glasses for this one. You start here, right at the center of your forehead, and you firmly and gently bring your fingers out to your hairline and then down, stroking your cheeks. Back up to the center of your forehead. And you can say, I am safe, I'm secure, I'm loved, or whatever affirmation feels good to you. And it might be one that comes up to you as you're doing this, or maybe you're doing this with a student and you know what they need. And so you say those things. I am safe. I am loved. I am okay. And it's just this beautiful, sense of touch that is so intimate and precious. I remember when my mother was talking on the phone, I used to go and put my head on her lap when I was a child because she just would do this the whole time. And I just would go back like a cat looking for sunlight, whenever I could, because it felt so delicious. We're activating our immune system by doing these techniques, and we are building and we're also activating our parasympathetic nervous system that says everything is okay. It's all okay. So self-care, again, brings us to equilibrium, clarity, relief, and comfort. And that's what these 4 havening techniques do. Yeah. So, we talked about leaning into disappointment, but we also have to cultivate joy. And the next exercise that we're going to do is one that does cultivate a sense of hope, a sense of renewal. We want to go from disappointment, an appointment with the negative, to renewed appointment, to really cultivating appreciation of the things that our heart longs for, the things that we desire, really allowing ourselves to have the dreams that we have. Our desires for the things that we want in our life are so connected to our life force. They are part of our life force, the thing that just keeps growing and changing and expanding, and we keep becoming our best selves, our truest selves, our more authentic selves, our most authentic selves, as we keep growing into the dreams that we have. So in spite of the fact that this is a tough time, it's really important for us to keep dreaming of what we want in our lives. So Eileen, would you demo this with me? So Eileen, you're muted, by the way. So if you could share something that you'd like to happen in the future, and it could be something that you have no idea how you're going to get there. It might be, a house in Malibu on the water. It could be, a trip around the world. Money doesn't matter. It's just your deepest, most heartfelt dream. Or it can be a simple dream too. I don't want to make you have to.
Okay. So I would love to go visit my middle son in Michigan, whom I was not able to see during Thanksgiving and will not be able to see during the December holidays either. So that is something I really want to do. He's moved there and I want to go see where he lives and check everything out. Meet his dog, etc. That's a dream I have, and it seems far off right now. So,
well, Eileen, it's your lucky day because we are taking a trip into the future. And are you willing to go with me and into the future?
Of course, I'm all about that.
All right. So, hey, Eileen, do you remember when coronavirus was over and everyone was free to, fasten their seatbelts and walk around, and you visited, what's your son's name?
Dan.
you visited Dan in Michigan. Do you remember that? Getting on the plane and feeling so safe and not worrying about, anything.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember that.
8th grade classrooms may be dismissed. 8th grade classrooms.
I remember, running up and meeting his dog, and his dog's named Asher, and just getting on the ground and petting him and letting him lick me all over the place. And then checking out where Dan lives and his neat apartment. And yeah, so that was so much fun. I just feel grateful that I had that time to do that.
Wonderful. How does that feel thinking about that?
Melancholy to go back and do it again. Like I want to go.
Okay. Well, I could ask you more, but we don't have the time. But so reframing our hopes and wishes in this way, as if they're happening, brings us into this positive mindset about our future. It brings us hope, and hope is really, really important right now. So doing exercises like this transforms our negative thought patterns to the realm of possibility. And it feels so good to immerse yourself in the things that you want to bring into your life, the things that you desire. So, this is really a social emotional learning skill of taking our difficult feelings and, in this time we've had together, we've talked about accepting your feelings, leaning into them. This is tough right now, and letting ourselves feel what we feel. And knowing, helping students know it, that they can feel the discomfort and it's okay. And there's ways to soothe ourselves. And then we can go ahead and think about the things that we want and imagine them as if they've already happened. This is so great to do when you are stuck and to say, how is that ever going to happen? How am I ever going to get my PhD? How am I ever going to become a, director of whatever? How am I ever going to start my own business? Whatever it is. And then you start imagining it as if it already happened, and you're bringing to yourself the feeling of that. And by immersing yourself in that, you bring yourself into a state of joy and possibility that it can happen. I'm not sure we have enough time. We were going to have everybody go into breakout rooms and do that together. But I think that what we want to kind of wrap around here, because we started out by talking about your types of play and the things that you did as a kid and how they affect your life right now, and the 6 types of play, and how it's really important when we're working with students to find out what their play style is. Ask them, and then see if you can find ways of engaging them in object play. There's so many games that you can play. If it's object play, there's a game where you slowly show something and they have to keep guessing what it is. What is it? Anybody know what it is? It's right on my shirt. Anybody know? And guess what it is? I'll show a little more. Keep showing it until you can guess. Oh, I think you're going to get it now.
Slinky. Jenga.
Shell?
Oh, it's a seashell.
It's a shell I picked up on the beach last summer. And kids have so much fun. The kids who are object oriented have so much fun playing, object games. Another one is, okay, everybody find something that matches this. It could be the color, it could be the shape, it could be whatever. But there are so many ways that we can, when we find out what types of play our students like, then we can engage in therapeutic play that brings us into connection, brings us into openness. And it's not just a means to relax a kid and get them to talk to you. It really is in itself wonderful therapy to be in a situation where you are flexible and you are creative and your mindset is opening, really expanding. And in these times, that is really balm to our soul, balm to our psyche. So we would like to ask you a question, and don't write it yet, but in the chat, go ahead and type something. Don't hit send. What is one way that you can think of to bring more play into your life? So how can you bring more? So just write one thing in the chat. And it doesn't have to be play per se. It could be if you liked being outside and playing, maybe you'll just hike more, or, you know, remembering back to something you did when you were little, maybe you'll just do more of that, but in a, you know, different style. So if your answer's in the chat, just put your hand up so we know that you're done. If your answer's in the chat, put your hand up. If the answer's in the chat, put your hand up. If the answer's in the chat, put your hand up. All right, so here we go. I'm going to count to 3 and then hit send, everybody. 1, 2, 3, do it. It's called chat waterfall, by the way, when everything just comes down at once in a nice waterfall. So, hike more, get a puppy, take an hour of my day to make room, play a fun activity once a month, dance to music with great abandonment, be outside more, hiking, play with my puppy, get outside. Wow, this is really interesting. I love that when you can really play with your children and not just like watch them play, that's so great. And then yoga, Zumba, hiking, bringing a soccer ball, wonderful, all wonderful things. And second waterfall, can you share in the chat something from today that you, something or more than one thing that you are going to use in your work going forward? You always like to check in and see, what do people like? So when, don't hit send yet, ta-da! Okay, when your answer's in the chat, put your hands up. So I'm gonna say, hey, that's mistakes is where it's at. When the answer's in the chat, put your hands up. Put your hands up. When your answer's in the chat, put your hand. Okay, great. Everybody hit send. Go ahead. Great. All right. So before we leave, I just wanted to mention that a lot of these games and exercise are in the curriculum, and there's a link to that. And also Wednesday from 4 to 5, I'm doing a social emotional learning with different things. I might do havening again, but some different exercises, 4 to 5, and there's a link to sign up for that workshop. It's free. Just a lot of exercises to bring back to your students and to you and your friends on Zoom. A lot of these things, you know, sometimes I'll just organize a play date with some friends and we'll work on some of these exercises and have a good time. So Eileen, is there anything you want to add?
No, thanks, Robin. What you offer was just perfect. I think it lightened our moods a bit after heavy days, and for some of us who are at home and long days at home. So you gave us some practical suggestions, some things, both physical tools and the mental tools, reframing our thinking, but also using our bodies to bring ourselves into a better place. And as school counselors, we know that's the best thing to do for our students, and sometimes we don't always practice that ourselves. We all know that, and how important it is for us to bring our best self each day to the places we work, but just overall, just for our own selves. So be a little selfish these days, folks. Take care of yourself. Think of the importance of you just as a human being on your own, apart from being a school counselor. And I have to say a thank you to all the counselors out there that are really working so hard these days.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
thank you so
stay
much.
strong.
And,
yeah, reach out to us, reach out to Robin,
yeah.
Join her workshops. It's great. So it's great to see you all. Love those school counselors.
Yay.
Thank you,
so
Eileen.
much.
Thank you, Robin. It's been so much fun seeing you, and love to facilitating and helping out. It's great.
Thank you, Curtis. Yes, thank you so much. Good to see you, Jim.
Yeah.
I wanted to say goodbye. Thanks so much. Had a great time. See ya.
Good.
Bye, Jamie.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jamie. Where's the save chat? I used to be here. How come